Hello again. This is the Waterman Spiritual Toolbox, number 310, John chapter 3, recording number 158, audio recording number 627, and examination table 286. We're in John chapter 3, verse 27. I already have it pre-recorded. Here goes.
Hello again. This is the Waterman Spiritual Toolbox, number 310. John chapter 3, recording number 158, audio recording number 627, examination table number 286. Okay, we'll be continuing in John chapter 3, verse 27. The King James Version says, John answered and said, a man can receive nothing except it be given him from heaven. Okay? We finished off in that word, Ian 14:37. Okay? Let me see here. And that one is tied with the next word, M-E, which is may. If they translate this except, it's 3361. Okay? That's where we're at, 3361. It's this word right here.
Strong's G, 3361.
May. That's a qualified negation. Okay? It's not accept, okay? It's a qualified negation. That was tied in there with that one right before that, with that, like a conditionality. Which way are you eating, partaking of? Which way are you existing? Back into God's right-mindedness? Huh? Or are you going back to your own self, your own stinking thinking process? Are you feeding from the tree of life from God's righteousness? God's love beyond the mere description of words? Or are you doing by your own righteousness, your own me, myself, and I? You're feeding from your own tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Alright? One must qualify with God to increase into God's righteousness, God's love beyond the mere description of the word. Become a widow to that old Adamic way of thinking. Little bit by little bit. Each one of those things that God's dealing with. And there's a lot of presumptuous things inside of each and every one of us that we don't even know about. It's like a hard fallow ground. God's got to jackhammer that stuff out. And you got to turn from that way of thinking. Give up on it too. No matter how much time, talent, effort you put into it. How much I believe that way all my life. Spit that crap out. It's not God, it's not God. You gotta qualify with God. You can't just polish outside of your cup and say, well, I want to look good, so I better not do that. I'm not gonna think that way. No, you gotta give it up to God. I must decrease. That old ego must decrease. Every bit of it. That's rough. But God's faithful to give you opportunities to change the way you think about that. Okay? This old Adamic way of thinking, you gotta give up so you can qualify for those increases back into God's righteousness. Right? That's it. It's tied in with that conditionality. Which way you do it? Which way you going up? Which way you going there, sis? Which way are you going, my child? Be reasonable, sit my way. Right? Now, the next word that they translate as it be, okay, comes from the word 5600. It's just O. Okay? That word is pronounced this way.
Strong's G, 5600. O.
And that's
Thayer's lexicon. I mean.
Yeah. It comes from from the subjunctive 1510. I-me, E-I-M-I, and that means I exist. Which way are you existing? The subjunctive means noting or pertaining to a mode or a mood of the verb that may be used for subjunctive. It means doubtful, hypocritical, or grammatically subordinate statements or questions as the mood may be. Is this, it's like asking, is this treason? Are you turning treason on your old me, myself, and I thinking and going back to God full bore? Or are you turning treasonous to God's love beyond the words and coming back to your old stinking thinking? Whichever way you're going, it'll double. It doubles into God's righteousness, or it doubles into your own righteousness, your own crap thinking. And it's twice as hard to get out. And then if you're in the next storm of life, and God's working on this area, if you negate God again, don't qualify, double just to 4, and to 8, to 16, see? The other way, you're qualifying, you're going in, you're doubling the other way. It's this way, it's subjective. Subjunctive, I mean. It's doubtful which way you're existing. You gotta take out that doubt. That's may, might, may. Right? This documazo. Not may prove. Take out that may. That may's a doubt thing. That's what the King James puts in there. King James Version. In Romans chapter 12, verse 3. That's dissected. Examine it. Prove it. Test it. Try it. That's what God's doing to you. Doing to us. In these storms of life. We gotta make God true. Acknowledge God is the truth. God is my exceeding great reward. And go into Him full bore and become a widow to the other. Turn treasonous to that old natural, carnal, stinking thinking process that is that old me, myself, and I, your old ego thinking. Tries to tell you, oh, you are the great. Shut up, you old dog. Put a muzzle on you. Right? Bark, 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 bark. You daggone dog. Sneaky snake. You jackass. Right? And go full bore into God, because you don't want to be doing treasonous to God, because it's going to double your trouble. God is not mocked. Mankind thinking. And each and every one of us will reap what they sow. Double the trouble. It's not a hell. Not a hell. God's going to throw you in hell forever. No, no, no. That's mixed up by the carnal mind too. Because it's like Hades and Sheol. So basically speaking of the grave or a pit, that's your carnal mind. And tartarao, which you only use one time, that's the lowest depths of that carnal mind, that pit, that yuck. And another one's Gehay, okay. I had to remember. This is, I think it's spelled just G-E, but it's pronounced Gehay or gay, I think. It's G-H-A-Y in the pronunciation of it. I just say Gehay to help me remember that, okay? And it's like that, not only this globe, but it's speaking that, not Gehay, wait a minute. No, it's, it's the garbage dump. The south of the garbage dump, the south of the valley of the Hinnom, south of Jerusalem, where they just put all their garbage and burned it up, refuge. They had this human sacrifice. What are you doing in your carnal mind? You're sacrificing to your own stinking thinking, to those false images. Whether it's good or bad, you don't know which way's up. You don't have no gravity. Woo, woo, woo. Double-minded bullshit. Alright, all kinds of messed up stuff in there going on. Huh? Burn that stuff up. Huh? Oh, almost remembered it, but I got on there. I had a little brain freak, so. But, you can look it up. There's only 4 words. For hell, I've got that. I've got videos on here covering that. It's like a series of about, I don't know how many it is, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? They're all back here. Okay? Just go to the channel on there, my channel, and go back down to it. I can't remember which one it is. Which spiritual toolbox, which videos, but there's a whole section of them. Okay? Alright, and then study them yourself. Alright? Now, let's go on. Let's see, where was we on that word? They translate as it be. Okay? And which way you existing, basically. From this 5600, this O. So it's doubtful. So it's hypothetical. Which way you turning treason on? Turn treason on God? Huh? Thinking you're not. Thinking it's a good way or a bad way, that's treasonous to God. Huh? That's not in God's right mindedness at all. Huh? I'm trying not to make a decision. I wanted to bury my talents in the dirt, in the earth, so when you come back, you're an awful mean. You throw us all in hell if we don't, get saved and all this stuff. I want to bury my talents in my earthly thinking, and then when you came back, I'll return there, I'll have it to give to you. Huh? He took that talent and gave it to another one that had the most. That reproduced more, right? Huh? Don't do that. That's yuck. Okay? Which way you existing? You exist, agree, right back into God. With everything you got. Okay? Cut all that other bullcrap out. Now, next word. After it be that O, which way you existing, really. Okay? Given is what they translated it as. It's 1325, didomy. This word.
Strong's G, 1325. Didomy.
So verb is to give one something to his advantage. Okay? Which way you existing? So that God can give you something to your advantage, or you listen to your old carnal mind telling you this is good, or this is turning good, bad, ugly, whatever, feeding from your own share of knowledge of good and evil. This is to your advantage. This is something, blah, 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 cock-a-doodle-doo, and all this stuff. Beast nature. It's not. It's that treasonous stuff to God. You turn your back on that carnal mind and go into God, and then you'll get the real permanent stuff. This other stuff that's saying it's all good to your advantage and stuff, it's just temporary and unsatisfactory. It's transitory. Ooh, yuck. Throw that bullshit in the trash, in the burn can. Let God transform it into a higher, always in an upward manner. Burn that stuff up, and always into a upwards manner, into a higher, superior way, into God's love, beyond the mere description of words. You must die to yourself. Alright. Now, the word after given, is that to give one something to his advantage, is him, autos. AUTOS, 846.
Strong's G, 846. Autos.
That's he, she, or it. And that's from 109 through the idea of a baffling or confusing wind. In these storms of life, right? Spinning you up in this tornado, this centrifuge. These storms of life, this calamity, tribulation stuff in your life, all this stuff going on. And it don't have to be just stuff out there people see. Inside your head, man, it's at times it's a lot of pressure. Even when things are going good, you got to make decisions. Oh man, there's pressure situation. Okay, that's confusing. That's a confusing when God's in that moment, in the twinkling of an eye, in that center of that storm. You have to decide: go to God's right-mindedness or go to your own stinking thinking. Which way are you going? You go to you green light God, and you go to His higher way, God's way, His superior way, to His love beyond the mere description of words, to God's righteousness. Don't go the other way. That's a descender, like that Jordan River. It's that water, those little marbles or little balls of muddied up water going down, getting more muddy. Yuck. Okay? And then, so that he, she, or it, that little muddy balls of water, those things in there, your thinking processes, it says him from Ek 1537. This word.
Strong's G 1537. Ek.
Cannot receive anything from out of Ek. From out of, denoting origin, the point whence action or emotion proceeds. Inside the muddy balls of waters is the micro black holes, God's love, okay, the seed of Christ, from whence action or emotion proceeds. That's what you got a green light to go back in. God's way, God's will be done. He pulls you, draws you. If I be lifted up, I will draw all men to me. All that humanistic thinking, all that anthropos thinking, man-face thinking, that old Adamic bullcrap, God will separate it. Take it out. Little bit by little bit by little bit. As you agree, right back into Him. Keep on green lighting God. Don't red light Him or you go back and start doing double and going into your own crap thinking, right? Now, word right after that didn't translate, but it's in there. It's kind of showing you right where it's taking place at. 3588. That's this one, that one, the definite article. It's that muddy ball of water in your mind. God's separating it. Now choose, my child. The children of God hear His voice, and the voice of that other one, that stinking thinking, they won't listen to it. They get messed up a little bit, they'll come back real quick. Right? Righteous man gets knocked down a bunch of times, but it gets right back up. Don't get down, let yourself be sucked right down into that crap. See, it's not by your might and your power that you can get out of that crap. One iota, not even one. Not even one little tiny bit you can out of your might and your power. But if God gives you these opportunities to change when He gives you these opportunities, to change the way you think about that stuff and come back into Him full bore, be a widow to that stuff, give up on it, come back in all you got. Remember, think about it. Is that resonating with you in your mind? This stuff ringing true? Think about it. Ponder like look afar off. Like chew the cud. Don't be that unclean animal and just swallow. Man, that was good. What did he least really had a good message here? What'd he say? Oh, I don't know. It went right over my head. Well, you need to go in there and study, be a good Berean, and look at it, think about it. Chew the cud. Right? That's what I'm saying in that. Work out your own salvation, your own deliverance, not fear and trembling, but respect, honor, acknowledging God, you are by exceeding great reward, and exist, walk, live, think, right back into the right-mindedness of God. Huh? Come back into union with God, into resting and relying on God. And it's not going to happen in one cataclysmic leap. No. God's got to build that. And this relationship builder, he's bringing many storms in all different ways. You may not even recognize when it's a storm, but it is. Okay? It rains from the just and the unjust. Huh? And it's not to where it's going to break you, but only to where you can give up on that old stuff. It gives you an opportunity to increase into God's love, okay? Now, this last word in this verse is that O-U-R-A-N-O-S. They translate that as heaven, 3772.
Strong's G 3772. Uranos.
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 Okay? I always said Uranus, but Uranos. Okay? Now, this word is a masculine noun, and it comes from the same as 3735. Okay? And through the idea of elevation, or the sky, like an elevating. Okay? It's like you're elevating yourself from this lower righteousness, lower realm of your own carnal thinking process. Okay? Your own thinking process is your own right-mindedness, feeding from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, up to this higher, like going up to the sky, up this higher realm, superior way. God's right-mindedness, God's righteousness, from your own low righteousness to God's high righteousness. Okay, it's like a picture thing, up to the sky. Okay, how high is it? Oh, it's way up as high as I can get, farther than I can reach. Right? It's heavenly realm. Up to the sky, up to as high as I can reach. It's through elevation, as God, as your green lighting God. In all these storms of life, He's bringing you into a higher state, a superior way of living, existing, being, of your existing into a higher and higher and higher way. Just like burning up that garbage thinking, and it's transforming that garbage. The energy in it is survives that, is preserved, and it's always transformed chemically in an upward manner. It's elevating into the spirit way, into God's righteousness, into God's, from your old nasty definition of love, your own carnal way of thinking, your own carnal righteousness, up to the righteousness of God, to the love that's beyond the mere description of God. From your old manipulative love, this lower way, right? I'll love you if you love me, but you do something bad to me, and I'll punch you right in the eye. Or I'll tear you down so bad, so quick, you won't be able to. That's the carnal way. Yuck. That ain't loving nobody. That's bullshit. That's worthless and detestable. Man, they'll stab you right in the back of you. As soon as you're not looking. Right. And even if you try to say, I'm doing it the best I can, but if you're doing all this carnal, nasty stinking, oh man, it's all kinds of mixed up. No gravity in that stuff. Woo! Flopping all around there. No love at all. No love of God. But this other, that's just burning up this thing. God's elevating it. Transforming that love, that energy, and that up into a higher way. It's like pulling down these little bitty microscopic black holes and transferring it right back up into His spiritual right-mindedness, into the love of God that's beyond the description of mere words. You can't compound enough adjectives to adequately describe the love that God has for you. This love is an incompleted love, that child. And He's bringing you through all these storms so that He can elevate you back up. Just like it it rains from the clouds down to the earth, and then it evaporates back up. Like the heat stuff evaporates back up to the clouds. When it gets enough of it, it goes back to circle. Circular. Right? We're born in God, we were in God, and then we go through all this life, and then we go through this stuff, and come right back up to God. He's elevating us back into the heavens, into His love, beyond the mere description of words, beyond His righteousness. That's beyond the mere description of words. That's heaven. Not this picture of all this other stuff. No, you're back in God. Little bit by little bit by little bit, He's bringing you back to His right-mindedness in the Spirit. You can't destroy energy in the natural. You try to burn it up, I'll burn up all that garbage up there and it's just gone. No, it's transformed from the chemical state and always in an upward manner. That energy in that is preserved. You can't destroy it. It's like the Spirit. You can't destroy the Spirit. Whatever's of God, return. Whenever we die in this natural realm, the dust, this earth. Let's go there real quick. I'll read that. And then I think I'm going to have to segment it. And I'm done with this verse then, I think. Let me go back here real quick. I'll just touch on this a little bit. Ecclesiastes 12:7. Okay? Okay. Then, that's when we die in this earth. Okay? Then the dust, what's that dust thinking? That's muddying up our balls of water in our minds. And this natural earth suit stuff, okay, returns to the earth as it was. The natural, this stuff returns, and this old stinking thinking goes. But that, whatever's of Christ, whatever love that you've been increased in, even if you haven't been increased at all, there's that little bitty seed of faith, that limited portion that God gave all. In Romans chapter 12, verse 3, right? It says that. Okay? He gave it all to everyone, pos. Okay, the whole, leaving nothing out. Okay? Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the Spirit shall return unto God who gave it. Remember? He made that, took that fleshy thing in that earth, the dust of the earth, and breathed His Spirit into it, and it became a living soul, mixed up muddy balls of water in our mind and in His soul physical suit. But we're looking right down in where God's working now, right in our mind. He's bringing us back so He can appear, make His appearance within you, in your clouds as you're overcoming. Not out here in this outward stuff. Oh, it's out here, it's over there, no. No, behold, for the kingdom of God is where? It's within you. Luke 17, 20, 21, right? Okay. Now, see, so in this verse here, then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the Spirit shall return unto God who gave it. Let's jump back here just a little bit. I'll just read these real quick. I got a couple minutes here. Okay, Ecclesiastes 6:6. Okay. Yea, though he live 1,000 years twice told, 2,000 years, yet hath seen no good. Do not all go to one place. Doesn't the Spirit, doesn't whatever that love of God returns back to God who gave it. And chapter 3, verse 20. Let's get down there to it. Okay. Verse 20 of Ecclesiastes chapter 3 says, all go to one place. Turn back to God. All are of the dust. We're all subjected to this old dust thinking. Yuck stuff. Muddy balls of water. Muddied up that purity of God, and He's going to separate it with His Word. Give us opportunity to come back. Little by little by little. See, all go to one place, and all are of the dust, and all turn to dust again. All this natural stuff, and all that carnal, fleshly thinking is going back to the dust of the earth. It's no good, it's no good, it's no good. Baby, it's no good. Alright? Turn back to God. Repent from that thing. Change the way you think about that old nasty stuff. Come back to God. Full bore. Become a widow to that old bitch nature. Thank you. Have a great day. That concludes Spiritual Toolbox number 10. Bye-bye. Spiritual
Okay, yeah, that was actually Spiritual Toolbox 310, okay? I got it, and that concludes that verse, verse 27 of John 3. I'll be on verse 28 next. Thank you, bye.